Well, hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is HD, your broadcaster for this series. And once again, it's GameCom Plantronics, and we're going to have a Terran versus Protoss. Excuse my squeaky chair, guys. I've had friends come over before, and they hear this chair that I'm sitting on. They actually see it, not just hear it. And they're like, dude, HD, why don't you buy a new chair? And I honestly don't have a reason why. Maybe I just like having scoliosis and arthritis by the time I'm 60. But anyways, pretty cheap little Costco chair that I'm sitting on. Anyways, this is going to be a Terran versus Protoss here, and we have CheckSix.Ver here playing as the Terran player in Metalopolis. Already, I just want to talk about CheckSix Gaming here, which, you know, they didn't have a StarCraft 2 team, at least not a prominent one before. But they've really come out of the bushes, so to say, and they're kind of representing for CheckSix now, and I think that's great. The more pro gaming teams that get into StarCraft 2, the better. Unfortunately, I don't know Ver too well. In fact, I don't really know him at all. But I do know CheckSix Gaming as an organization. They're awesome guys, and I just can't wait to see how CheckSix performs in GameCom Plantronics. Obviously, they're throwing up Ver, the Terran player, the blue Terran here, who is going to be at the 12 on metal, and his opponent is going to be another player from vile.SyNc. Wow, Vile is really doing quite well in this tournament, so great game so far from them. And, you know, Vile's teammate, Hawk, just defeating his opponent Dice in a best-of-5 in the semifinal A. I'm sorry if I ruined that for you guys already, but if you guys are watching semifinal B before A, then you guys, well, you guys need to go back and learn the alphabet, because A comes before B. The chicken came before the egg. Or wait, the egg came before the chicken? One of those. I don't know how to answer that question, but we have Terran versus Protoss. It's going to be CheckSix versus Vile. It's going to be Ver versus Sync, and certainly going to be an interesting matchup here, given that they've spawned close by air, which tends to favor those quick air units. So I would not be surprised to see either of these players going for that quick rush into, you know, a starport, a stargate, one or the other. And, you know, Void Rays are a possibility. Banshees are a definite possibility. I would almost say with 50% certainty we may see Banshees or a Marine Hellion combination dropship as well. And Sync also has the option of going Warp Prism, some Whiterun special tactics for you guys. You guys can find that in the cookbook of Whiterun, page 42. That man loves his Warp Prisms, let me tell you guys right now. So maybe we'll see that kind of stuff. Or we may just see standard ground forces for both these players as well. It's really up in the air right now. Given that Sync has gone for, you know, a double gas already, it's definitely possible he's going to go right into Stargate. So we'll see what happens. And Ver here is going to be going for a 1-Rax FE. Very bold 1-Rax FE here. Did he scout the double gas going up? Yes, he did scout the double gas going up. So, you know, from that, he can kind of infer that more likely than not, it's not going to be some kind of a 4-gate all-in, because why would a Protoss 4-gate with 2 gas when they can 4-gate with 1 gas? So he's thinking right now, you know, it's safe to 1-gate expo or 1 barracks expo. But he's going to have to be a little bit careful nonetheless. This is a very bold opening, especially on a map like this. It looks like we just had a little bit of a pause action here to deal with some... apparently somebody needs to fix the cords in their room. I know, man, that's super annoying when you've got cords just everywhere in your room. It's a super mess, and then you've got a squeaky chair that came from Costco that costs like $5. So I hear your pain, Ver. Hopefully if you win this tournament, you can afford yourself some nice headsets, which... you know, won't get all tangled and corded up. So, it does look like Sync is going to go for a 3-gate expand here. Oh, he's going to do the 4-gate after all off of 2 gas. Wow, I like this. Has he scouted the expansion yet? No, he has not. He's just going to do a blind 4-gate regardless, but now that he sees the bunker, he can almost assuredly know that there is a command center hiding back here, and he just wants to poke to be sure of it, and there he does that. So now he's going to be even more happier about this 4-gate, although, what? Okay, so he's getting a Nexus too. Huh, that's kind of interesting as well. He's saving up all the chrono boost certainly for this 4-gate, but you know, look at all that energy being saved up in the Nexus right now, and he's now he's chrono boosting probes, and he's double chrono boosting probes on one. What is going on here? Did he just use 2 chrono boosts on the same Nexus? Am I watching the right game here, guys? Is this Wood League? This can't be Wood League. I don't know. That must have been a little bit of a misclick right there. But vile.SyNc here, I thought for sure was going to go for the 4-gate, especially scouting only a solo bunker at the front. I mean, that is just begging to be 4-gated. And SyNc has gone for the Nexus now, which kind of has me scratching my head. But he has done it. So it's a very strange little opening here. You know, if you're going to do this, if you're going to go for 2 bases and, you know, go for all these gateways, then you might as well make it a 6-gate, because you can now afford 2 more gateways, and you can afford to pump out of 6. But he's not, you know, he's not revealing what he's going to do quite yet. Here comes the Reaper. It is going to come in and it is going to see the buildings right now. Ver isn't going to be super concerned with the 4-gate now, because, you know, if it was a 4-gate, if it was a hard 4-gate, it would have come around 6 or 7 minutes. It's now 8 minutes in the game, so this actually looks pretty standard. It doesn't look too menacing, and well, he's just going to throw down 1 bunker just in case as well. So just playing it safe, just a little bit. But a very unusual opening from SyNc. This may be something new that new developments in Terran versus Protoss that I'm not too quite sure about. Maybe SyNc read some special tactics on page 48, which I haven't gotten to that chapter yet. But this is a very interesting style. A delayed 4-gate, so to say. No robotics facility yet. He has cut pro production. No, he hasn't. But he's been saving up Chrono Boost. So he has a lot of potential Chrono Boost here, and there comes the robotics facility. He has the proxy pylon, and he is ready to bust down that front door, but now there's 2 bunkers up, and oh, Vern leaving Marauders inside that bunker. I wonder why he did that. He should actually put Marines in there because they're more fragile, but nonetheless, he is gonna get a pretty good concave over SyNc's forces, and of course, you guys all know concaves are so important in StarCraft 2. You get more surface area, you're able to do more damage over time. And SyNc actually has to fall back, cannot continue to engage at that front door, and the delayed 4-gate, you know, better late than never, I guess. But a very interesting style there ends up backfiring, and now, you know, he's got all this energy on his Nexi that he's still not using. He hasn't chrono boosted a darn thing, and at this point, it's actually becoming counterproductive because he's got all this energy saved up, which, you know, it should be used for something. Energy is, you know, when you have energy, you go exercise, you go burn that off. You don't just let it store up or you become fat. And, yeah, bad analogy, I know, but I feel like SyNc may be getting a little bit lethargic here with his play. What's his APM? 191. I mean, good lord. He is getting really lazy with his build here. I still don't know what he's saving up all that Chrono Boost energy for, but I don't know, guys. We'll see. Ver, he has engineering base going down. Looks like he's playing a very common and tried and true tested method, the bread and butter Marine and Marauders against Protoss. You can't really get any more solid than that. Marines obviously dishing a good amount of damage, and Marauders dealing a good amount of damage to gateway units. And you know, very common, very solid. I would not be surprised to see some dropships come out as well to possibly start ferrying over to the natural or to the main of SyNc. And we do have 2 dropships currently on the way, but it doesn't look like they're rallied to go for a drop. They're just going to be rallied to the main army. And Ver finally picks off that pesky proxy pylon. And he is gearing up for a move out here. Already has 2 dropships, in fact. Now, here's one thing that vile.SyNc has to be a little bit concerned about: the possible elevator technique from Ver. He can elevator his forces from the below ground over Rob's guns, over to on top of Rob's guns, over into the main. So it's a strategy that SyNc's got to be aware of. He doesn't want to allow Marines and Marauders to be uplifted into his main. That would not be a nice day for the Protoss at all. And what is he doing with all this energy? Okay, finally he's starting to chrono boost now. I guess he was saving it up for a robotics facility to get Colossi out as quickly as possible, but you know, it's still quite the delayed Colossus, because if he was planning to go for Colossus in the first place, then why not throw that robotics facility earlier? You know, way earlier. I think he had a timing when he could have thrown it down rather than throwing down a 4th gateway, but You know, regardless, we are going to have Ver here moving around with these two dropships. He is going to fly right over the observers, and he's going to go right into the steam vents where a pylon is awaiting him. And oh no, these dropships are going to get picked off! And SyNc getting a huge blow to his... SyNc actually dealing a huge blow to Ver, but Ver, meanwhile, is going to go for an engage at the front door while the Stalkers are in the background. And what is up with these force fields? Those were not the best force fields. I mean, it didn't even chop anything in half. That was like taking a butter knife to a piece of walnut. It just doesn't work. And so SyNc, despite that, is actually able to push the Marine Marauder army back quite a bit. The Nexus here, I believe, got canceled, or a pylon at the very least, or something. But SyNc able to survive at the front door, surprisingly. I thought for sure he was just a goner, but he was able to hold that off despite the force fields being a little bit lackluster. And we do now have a little bit of Marauder Zealot action here. No micro from Ver, he's just going to allow those Marauders to die with blood spewing out of their guts and gore and all that good stuff. So SyNc ends up surviving quite well. His army, though, is, I gotta say, his army is not doing too great at all. He's at 110 supply, under 150, and that is obviously not a good situation. Ver has a much more powerful army, actually has a little bit better economy as well, and he has a third base now up and running, whereas he's denied SyNc's third with those Marines and Marauders. So Ver is certainly sitting in a great position here, looking to deny Vile a team versus team, a teammate versus teammate situation in the grand finals, which would be, you know, it would be awesome to see SyNc versus Hawk, but at the current rate things are progressing, it almost looks like Ver is poised to take a victory here in game one. Keep in mind, this is a best of 5, so the first game, while it means a lot, isn't the end-all be-all. But as it stands right now, Ver is looking very good. He's got Ghosts now out on the field as well, and Ghosts, the new unit for a lot of people to call the Imba unit. For a while it was the Infestor, and now a lot of people, I mean a lot of people, I was just watching Inside the Game, which is a podcast that is done with Sir Scoots, manager of EG, In Control, Idra, and Pain User. And Idra himself said that, you know, the the Ghosts are now the new Imba unit, and he's hoping to see the Ghosts nerfed in some way or another in the very near future. And, you know, to an extent, it's quite true. Ghosts are used in almost every single matchup. They're so good and so versatile. And, you know, I think they are going to hold the keys for victory here for Ver. He's going to be able to EMP these Templar, completely negating them, and the sentries as well. And what the thing that SyNc's got to do to deal with those Ghosts, he's got to run those Templar up and try to feed back the Ghosts before the Ghosts get the EMPs off. Now, we do have a comsat going down. Just picked off the Observer. Another comsat to reveal the army. I think SyNc is going to be very happy to engage here. He's got such a sizable army advantage here. And he's going to go in with an EMP right smack over those sentries. A second EMP for good measure, but he misses the Templar. And the Templar go in with a massive storm over the Marines and Marauders, almost all but killing the Marines. However, there are still a lot of Marauders on the ground, and the Marauders alone should be able to end the game. And SyNc calls a GG, so a pretty solid play by Ver. Couldn't really find any holes in his play right there. Just playing a very solid bread and butter style cookie cutter Marine Marauder, and was able to take the win quite easily. So well played by Ver. And don't go anywhere, guys. We're gonna have game 2 in this series coming up right after this. Remember, it's a best of 5. SyNc now has got some games to perform, so stay tuned. HD signing out.